Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
And we are ready to go. We are here now on video. Friday was a bit of a trial day.
Yeah. We made it, though. I thought it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought we made it through without a hitch. I'm excited for today. I'm excited for moving forward like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get into today's topic as well. Today, we're going to be talking about what tenants actually want. We're going to be talking about landlord and tenant love language, essentially.
Yes.
Today.
I like it.
How to communicate, not necessarily how to communicate better with your tenants, but more so how to make sure the tenant gets what they want too out of this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the relationship is a two-way street. It's all about compromise and making sure that everybody is feeling heard and noticed and loved. So I don't know where I'm going with this. We're going to talk about the 5 must-have features that you're going to want to see or want to have in your rental properties to the best of your abilities, of course, within reason.
Yeah. It won't always be a home run, but we're going to do our best to hit all of them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to be getting into that in a little bit here. Some news for us, what's going on with us this week. We're closing on a property on Wednesday.
Yes, super excited about that. The last little hustle to get everything lined up and in order before we take possession is happening right now. So I think we'll be ready.
It's always, I think it's, when you're working with partners, so we work with joint venture partners and we bring family and friends on and get them involved in the investment. I'd say this is always the most difficult part for them, this stretch, that 2 to 3 weeks right before we close on the property, because they're the ones that are getting all the financing, everything all set up. And they're the ones that are, we're helping, we're getting the insurance, utilities and everything all set up. Are utilities set up?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Is what I mean. Like there's a lot of last minute stuff you forget about. But it's always the most stressful for the partners in this little last stretch, because this is the most that they're really involved. And the second that we get the keys, like the money partners are no longer involved anymore, pretty much.
Yeah, they can forget about it.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. But we're trying to get everything across the finish line, so that's exciting. As far as this property goes, I would say that this property is definitely one of those properties that checks a lot of the must-haves. So it's a lot of the things that tenants are looking for, and that's why we bought it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to mention the fact that it's incredibly profitable.
Yes.
That's very important as well.
Very important as well. Yeah. I think the last thing that we're waiting on is insurance. Insurance is, I don't know, sometimes insurance can be hard. And this time it was a little difficult, but we're almost there. We're just waiting on the policy to come through, hopefully today. So but it's been a little bit of a hustle to get us there. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited for it. What else we got going on this week? We've got renovations should be done.
Renovations are
on
wrapping
our
up.
basement suite this week.
This week, I think maybe like early next week. That's my predictions. But who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe it is this week. But yeah, we are getting so close. But I think that we always underestimate the final stretch, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's like when all of the finishing touches are being put on, all of the fixtures are being put up, like all the handlebars in the bathroom and toilet paper holders.
Why is there handlebars in the bathroom? Kind of crazy, kinky stuff's going on in the bathroom.
Well, there often is handlebars, like in the showers and stuff,
Oh, you mean like towel handlebars? Oh, okay.
No, well,
in the shower? In the shower? You put them in the shower?
For old people. Don't make it weird. Anyways.
I didn't say anything. Normally, people can just hear my silence. They wouldn't normally see my face when I have silence.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like it's often underestimated how long all of that finishing stuff is going to take. So I'm hopeful that this week it'll be done, but I would say good chance next week sometime.
Okay. All right.
Are you guys making fun of me in the chat?
Oh.
Okay.
This is the thing that really bothers me the most is we don't have enough space for our boom arms. We're constantly fighting. I don't know if you noticed mine was over here for a bit, and I was just trying to take over her space. Just little stuff.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's exciting. that basement suite is going to do really well. I mean, it's been stressful getting it all finished with the whole bathroom and everything else and whatnot. That took way longer than it should have.
Yeah.
But we did it right, and we did it safe, and that's the most important part.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to getting this up on the market. I feel like, your new tile selection was a really nice. It was a bit of a Band-Aid solution for the flooring, but I think it's actually gonna look like it was on purpose.
Yeah, you think?
I think it's gonna look like it's on purpose.
I saw a little snippet of it. I'm excited to see it finished. I hope that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was getting grouted over the weekend or today, I think.
The backsplash in the kitchen was getting done.
Backsplash in the kitchen was getting done. Everything else is pretty much done. I honestly, I think that there's some curing time for the grout, but and then cleaner, and then a bunch of other trades need to come in, like HVAC cleaning and stuff like that. But
yes, ooh, good one.
Book it, book it.
Add that to the list.
So but I think our handyman's gonna be done in a few days.
Yeah,
he's pretty quick once he gets in the groove of it. So. Yeah. That's good. Well, maybe you know this, maybe you don't know this. We try and avoid renovations these days. Yeah. We've done so many over the years, and they're fun. They're great for pictures, and people love before and afters. But are they the best use of our time? Not really.
No.
Not really. They
are a time suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like solving problems and picking stuff out. I mean, like, there's a way to be hands off in a renovation for sure. But it's not really how we roll. We like to be hands on. I like to be picking what's going in and making sure that, like, not the like super expensive materials are being used, but not the super cheap ones. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm a little bit of a control freak in that way. But yeah, I'm quite hands-on when we do renovations, and it's kind of, I don't know, it feels unnecessary. It takes a lot of time away from the day-to-day.
The trade for our time, if you look at the value of our time and what we could be doing with it, how much money we could be making with it, it's not a good trade. Yeah. It's not a good trade, but it's fun. It's fun. You get to go down there, you get to go see what's going on, take pictures. Everybody's like, wow, look at those real estate investors. I didn't know you real estate invested.
You guys do stuff?
Yeah, a lot. Just that's not how you make money. I mean, you might be able to, we're going to make, okay, so I did a video on this a while back. I think we're going to make like $40,000 worth of equity off of this renovation. So for what, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Well,
I don't remember, to be honest. I'd have to look back.
I'd have to look back too. I don't want to pull up my calendar right now, but for 8 weeks worth of work, let's say, worth of somebody else doing the work and us overseeing it and ordering supplies, to make $40,000 is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The amount of hours we spent on it, though, I could have made a lot more than $40,000. I tell you. Like, for the amount of time I've had to put into it, I could have made a lot more than $40,000. So I don't know. It's there. It's equity. It's like we can't touch it though. It's like it's good. It's gonna be stuck in equity. It's in future profit land. I don't know. Yeah. No. Not yet.
Almost got it.
Not yet. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's. I almost feel like we should always have one renovation on at a time. So almost like it kind of scratches the itch a little bit. It also gives us stuff to take pictures of. Mm-hmm. That's not how I want to live my life.
Yeah, me neither.
So anyways, that's you guys should see some final pictures on that here coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
You can see the tile that Gabby picked as well.
Yeah, I never revealed the tile that I picked.
You did not?
I asked everybody for their opinions, but my dirty little secret was that I already bought it.
Who do we got joining us in the live show today? We are live on YouTube right now. If you're listening to us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or whatever the new cool podcast platform is, check us out on YouTube. Look up Wayne Hillier, and that's where we broadcast live every morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. you can come and see our faces.
Pretty awesome. Hey, we're wearing the same sweater.
We are wearing the same sweater. We got the same coffee cups too.
Yeah, we do.
Pretty cool. You didn't really think about it when you ordered them. They have a little bit of a shiny thing going on.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a reflection of the light. It's okay though. They're still fun.
Well, who's joining us live today?
We have Kirsten here with us. Good morning. We have Kyla here. Craig. Good morning, Craig. I'm not sure how to say that name. We have Amy here. Nori's here. It's harder to go through because I'm just looking at people who've commented.
Comment. You have to comment in order for us to say your name on the radio.
Here. Yeah. We have Tristan.
It's Jean. Jean. You're trying to say Jean?
Oh, it's just the last names with it. Okay. I was like, genius.
Oh, you were trying to put his first name and his last name together?
Yeah, I didn't know where the names started or ended. Yeah, anyways, it's all good. Hey, Jean. Hi, Jean. Happy you're here. We have Matt here with us. Good morning. Good morning to Carmen. We have, let's see who else commented. We have Manny. Good morning, Manny. Josh. Hey, Josh. Yeah, and then I think that's all of the people who have commented. I see that there's a bunch more, but
okay,
whatever. You keep to yourselves.
All right. Well, so what else we got going on? Oh, the Real Estate Investing Masters Edmonton bus tour.
Oh my God.
What?
Well, yesterday you were like, so the bus tour is next weekend. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Next weekend. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said next weekend.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that nobody thinks that it's this weekend.
Yeah.
This next coming.
That happened fast.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And isn't that a good thing?
Yeah. It made me super excited. It felt like it was so far away for so long that it was just like this thing off in the distance that was going to eventually happen. And it's like not this weekend, but next weekend.
That's what we said, yeah.
Yeah. So it's super exciting. I'm jacked. I'm so excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So for those of you guys that don't know, we haven't done a bus tour in
2 years? 3 years? I can't remember. 2023.
3 years.
Yeah. I think it was July 2023 was our last one.
Yeah. We haven't done an REI Masters bus tour in 3 years, and we are long overdue. But we wanted to change it up this time. We wanted to really focus on what's working right now and making sure that you guys get to see properties, some of the best performing properties in Canada. Now, it just so happens that they happen to be in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Best place to invest right now.
It's not a bias. It's just facts. It's just facts, and we're going to show you exactly why. So what we're doing is we're showing you our students. We're going to be taking you to tour some of our students' properties, properties that they picked up recently. We're going to look at a Burr property, a property where one of our students, Samuel, picked up a property, renovated it, and he's going to be refinancing it, pulling out all or most of his money, and then recycling those funds, and then keeping this property as a cash flowing rental property in his portfolio. And you can follow Samuel Huberdeau online. He posts lots of. If you're bummed that I'm not posting enough renovation photos, go follow Samuel. He posts tons.
Yeah.
He owns SPM Inc., which is a renovation contracting company in Edmonton, and he does all of his own renovations on all of his projects and things like that. I think he's got 3 Burrs going on right now. So you can follow all of his progress there. But we get to see one of his properties. As well, we're going to be stopping at Jazz and Rupinder's new townhouse. We did a podcast episode last week or the week before, talking all about townhouses, Edmonton townhouses being the #1 real estate investment opportunity in Canada right now. And so that we're going to be touring an actual Edmonton townhouse, one that was just recently bought, I'd say about a month ago. They had to do some minor renovations to that property as well, but it should be just about ready on May 16th when we do the bus tour. And you're going to get to see why this property is one of the best investment opportunities in Canada right now. One of the best cash flowing properties. If you're looking to find the best properties that have the best that score the best on the cash flow test, that exceed the 5% rule. Obviously, this property is really up there. Yeah. Really up there. And two really, really, really cool individuals as well. They're going to share their story about how they found this property. And then lastly, we're going to be touring arguably one of the coolest things that we've ever done in our business as well. We're going to be touring one of our big projects. You're going to get to see the garden suites that we are constructing right now. And this is a garden suite. This is a garden suite like you've never seen before.
Yes.
First of its kind in Canada. No one has ever done this before. That's how I like to roll. I like to be cutting edge, trailblazing. You know what I mean?
Outside the box, yeah.
First, what's that?
Thinking outside the box.
Oh yeah, first of its kind. That's what I always do. Everything that I do is always first of its kind. I'm always the one that's leading the charge. This right here is, if you thought townhouses, Edmonton townhouses were great, wait until you see this. Let's just put it that way. It's more profitable and has better cash flow than Edmonton townhouses. Everybody's like, that's not possible, man. I've looked at the numbers. Garden suites suck ass. May 16th. May 16th. There are 50 lucky investors who have signed up for this bus tour. They're going to get to see it first before everybody else. I'm not answering anyone until after May 16th.
Yeah.
So everyone who's coming to the bus tour, the REI Masters bus tour on May 16th, is going to see it first. Then everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah.
That's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing. But I can't let the lid off any sooner than that, okay?
Yeah.
We got to make sure that everybody who paid to be there, paid to see it, is going to get to see it first. So I'm super excited for that. It's going to blow your fucking mind.
But the bus tour is sold out.
Sold out.
Yes.
But if you send us an email, send it to, you can send it to the podcast email. It's fine. Send it to info@reimorningshow.com. Say, hey, I want on the waiting list for the bus tour. And if a spot opens up, we'll let you know. There's already a few people on the waiting list. So get your name on there. It is what it is. We did not want to add a second bus. We could have. There's lots of people that were asking, but we didn't want to add a second bus because we want to keep this smaller. We don't want to overwhelm it too much. We want to make sure that everybody gets their questions answered. That's one of the most important things. Yeah. So May 16th, get your name on the waiting list. If you want information, just go to www.reimasters.ca. That's where you can find information about the bus tour and all of our other courses and mentorship program and everything else. We're going to take a quick little commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what tenants want. A lot of these properties, the properties that we're going to be looking at on this bus tour, the property that we're closing on this Wednesday. This is what we think about when we're purchasing properties, when we're analyzing properties. Yes, we're looking at the numbers. Yes, I want to make sure that it has strong profitability. I want to make sure that it has strong cash flow and exceeds the cash flow test. Yes. Mm-hmm. But what we also want is we want the type of property, the type of property, let's just say that people actually want to rent. And there are certain features that tenants are looking for that are important to them. And when you're looking at your properties, when you're looking at purchasing a property, these are things that you should be thinking about. And this actually came from a listener question over the weekend. We're gonna read off that listener question, and we're gonna talk about those 5 different features that you should be focusing on when you're purchasing rental properties. We'll be right back.
You are a professional real estate investor. You are not a professional boxer. And you are definitely not a professional bookkeeper. Enter Fingo. Fingo is a professional bookkeeping service by and for professional real estate investors. Your life just got a whole lot easier, and your profits are ready to soar. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo so you can focus on what's most important, finding the next deal and raising money for it. Schedule your free consultation at fingo.com.
Okay.
In the comments here, Kyla says, love that you guys always think about the people who are coming and not overdoing it for the mass profit, but are about providing the best value.
Oh, it's not profitable. Not at all. Yeah, this is about helping people. This is about making sure that, sorry, I can't see the chat. This is about making sure that investors get an opportunity to learn in RL. You know what I mean? They get to see it, they get to feel it, they get to touch it. You know, I know that we provide tremendous value on this podcast every morning. I know the impact that it has. And I want to make sure that people also get the opportunity to actually go out and see it and feel it. And hopefully, that's just another one of those things that hopefully it helps you with whatever it is that you need in order to go and take action. Okay, that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to figure out what can we do differently? How can we say things? How can we do things? What can we offer in order to get you to do what you need to do? Because you know what you need to do. You just don't feel comfortable about it. So how can I make things more comfortable for you? Is what I'm trying to do. This bus tour is all about that. We haven't done it in 3 years, mainly because we've been so incredibly busy. We've been really busy. Really busy. We've been in buy-in mode. We've been in acquiring mode. We've been in...
I can't think of anything that rhymes with buying and acquiring.
Testify? Fill in the blank in the chat, guys. Yeah. We've been really busy. Yeah. And it's, this garden suite project, this project's not the right word. The whole putting this together, making garden suites profitable, making them cash flow. I've been working on this for 2 years. 2 years behind the scenes. Not to mention all the other behind the scenes things that we have going on. It's a lot of stuff. We've been very busy. And all of these things are obviously building profit for ourselves, building profit for our partners, building cash flow. But also, like I said, I always want to be the one that leads the charge. So this way I can figure it out. I can work through all the kinks. I can iron them all out so that you guys can benefit, right? Mm-hmm. Everything, that we teach is all tried and true. It's all been practiced. It's all been worked through so that way you guys don't have to worry about the risks or the concerns of it, right? So it's simple, it's easy, it's plug and play. So that you can take your hard-earned savings or your joint venture capital or whatever, your equity in your home, and you can just apply it directly to whatever these investments are, knowing that, okay, this has been thought through. It's not just some new fucking scheme that somebody comes up with, right? Anyways. That's why we haven't had a bus tour in the last 3 years. I'm like, where was I? That's why we haven't had a bus tour in the last 3 years. But truth, we've been busy. We've been really busy. And so here's the deal. Now that I've got this all figured out, especially with the garden suites, was a huge, huge project. Working really hard on it. Now that we got that all figured out, I feel like we got a little bit more time. Now we got time for this bus tour. We're going to be doing another workshop in June as well. We're really excited for that. And we're planning on doing more in-person events. So that way this summer, we could see more of your faces. You could see our faces more, right? YouTube was another big thing. We've been busy. It's been busy. Anyways, we're really excited to do a lot more in-person stuff, face-to-face. Okay.
Let's dive into the what tenants want, what tenants are looking for.
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Well, it was actually a question that came in by email.
Yes.
Is why we're talking about this.
Yeah, I'll let me pull that up real fast.
Sure.
And if you guys have any questions you want us to answer on the show, any topics you want us to cover, things that you don't understand, things that you're curious about, it gives us things to talk about. We do this show live every weekday morning. We're always looking for ideas. We're always looking for ideas for things to talk about. So, this question came in, was that yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Good evening. The change to video looks great. Congratulations on the move. Thank you.
Can I just say that whenever this person emails us, I always think that they're like like somebody trying to convince us to let them like edit our YouTube videos or something like that, because he always starts with a compliment. That's like always how those emails start. It's like, hey, I couldn't help but notice, your switch to YouTube. The videos look great. And then it's like, you know what I mean? However, I could increase your, if you let me, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So every time I see it pop up, I ignore it at first. And then I'm like, wait a second, that name looked familiar. And then like click and you're like, oh, it's a nice email. Somebody's complimenting us.
That's hilarious. So what Gabby is explaining is that like, because of who we are, we get tons and tons and tons of emails, people trying to pitch us
so many
on services, services for YouTube, services for our business, services, your podcast is doing so fantastic. I couldn't help but notice though, you're not optimizing in this area.
Yeah.
How come you don't have a back end something? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, Murphy. So anyways, she read that and she thought you were, anyways, doesn't matter. He goes on to say, I believe he's with us today.
Yes.
You have mentioned buying properties that people want to rent and have explained that they want their own yard, personal space, etc., which leads to a single family house, duplex, townhouse, etc. Looking at these properties, what factors do you look for that tenants that determines, if it, I can't read.
Struggling?
Can't read. Looking at these properties, what factors do you look for that determines if a property is desirable for a tenant? What makes you think people will love to rent this place? Thanks for all you do.
Awesome.
All right.
So yes, thank you for sending in the question. And please, guys, you can still send in questions. Just because we've changed to a different format here, it doesn't mean that we're not still trying to answer your questions, bring you guys value. So yeah, we're happy to answer. And I like this question. And I like it because there's not really like determining if somebody would, I can't remember the exact language that you just read that he used, but determining if it is in fact somewhere where somebody would want to live isn't like, there's no like right answer to it. It is open to like what I would like to live in differs from what you would like to live in, which differs from what somebody else would like to live in.
Sure.
So we're just kind of looking for like a broad maximum desirability, right?
Sure.
And so there is leeway there for you to interpret it in your own way and determine if you think that you found something that somebody would want to live in.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty big factors that you can still take into consideration to try to give yourself the best chance of finding and buying the best property that's going to do the best. Right?
Sure. Yeah, I think, what you're getting at was like, you have to think tenant profile.
Yes.
Right? So think tenant profile first. This is what we teach our students is that, you kind of have to begin with the end in mind. You have to think about who is it that I am looking to sell to, right? This is just marketing and sales, guys, just basic marketing and sales, You could get this in a weekend course, or probably the first 2 classes at your local college. You have to think about who you want to be selling to, right? You do want to make sure that these numbers work. You do want to make sure you're buying in a market that's strong, that has potential for growth, et cetera, et cetera. But ultimately, the business in which that you are buying this rental property and selling the space within the rental property, who wants to rent it? Who? Right?
Yeah.
And once you establish who that is, then you can figure out what are the must-have features for said individual. How do I buy the right property for the right person? I want to sell to this person here. I want to sell to a person who looks like this, who does these types of things, who has this type of family, who has this type of job. These are the things. This is the person that I want to sell to. What are the things that they are looking for? Because like Gabby said, what's appealing for Gabby and I might not be appealing for said tenant, right? So there is no one size fits all for this. You have to know who it is that you're renting to first. And now you can understand the importance of tenant profile, right? it's not about, oh, I want to rent to nurses and doctors and lawyers because they pay their rent on time. You wouldn't believe how many times we've heard things like that. Oh, my tenant profile is somebody who pays on time. Obviously.
Yeah.
But you got to go much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Way deeper than that.
And I think that for a large majority of probably the people who follow us, because, you know, I think that we end up with a lot of followers who like the way that we think and like the way that we invest in the kind of, you know, we're going to call it boring, we're going to call it vanilla, but we're going to call it profitable as well, right?
Fuck yeah.
And I think that there's a large amount of people who that really feels good to them and they want to invest the same way that we do. And so I think when we are kind of going through this topic, we can agree that a lot of these people, a lot of these investors are looking for stable, long-term tenants who are going to stay for a long time, who, yes, we hope that they are always going to pay their rent on time, but maybe there is, you know, a few times during their long duration of 3, 4, 5 years where they do miss a payment, but they get caught back up. And typically these types of tenants who are going to stay for that long period of time in a property that they can call their home, that they can take pride in, are families.
Yep.
Right? That's kind of the bread and butter of long-term stable tenants.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Of course, people, you know, you can come in and you can argue that you had a single person, you know, middle-aged single person that didn't have any family that stayed a long time. Yes, we've had those tenants too. I'm not saying that we're always looking for families or that all of our suites are, you know, family friendly or had family in mind when we purchased them. That's not the case. But if we're looking for our best outcome, it's typically a family. And they're typically going to stay a long time if we hit all these points of what's going to attract them.
Yeah.
Right?
Kirsten's with us on the live show this morning, and she said, my first couple purchases were buying for long-term tenants that wanted to upgrade to a bigger home. We had to find homes that were perfect for us, perfect for them, and the numbers still work. Great.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's really sound. And I mean, that's ultimately what I would prefer to rent to families, you know, honestly, that they're the easiest, they're the safest. I mean, but again, it always comes down to the numbers. But, you know, one of the most important features that I think that families are looking for, and most tenants just in general, let's just be honest.
People in general.
People in general. One of the most important features that people are looking for is privacy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So privacy meaning, you know, not like, oh, you have a roommate, but privacy meaning like a separation. There's nobody above you. There's nobody below you. You don't have to share your yard with anybody. You know, that kind of privacy, right? So when we start talking about that, you're thinking about, you know, just like the listener wrote in, you're thinking about those single family houses. You're thinking about half duplexes where, you know, you have your own self-contained unit.
Yeah.
You're thinking about even townhouses. A lot of people think that, oh, well, townhouses, you still have somebody on either side of you. But it's kind of like a half duplex where you don't get that noise coming in from, you know, either side. There's good like party wall separation.
Yeah.
And you also have your own backyard living space. You know, it really is its own self-contained unit that you have your own privacy, your own space in. So what this kind of steers us away from is like suited properties where you have somebody above you or you have somebody below you. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes you're sharing a yard. Sometimes you're sharing a washing machine. You know, those types of things. You get, as you can do as much soundproofing as you want. You can spend so much money on soundproofing. They're still going to hear each other. They're still going to annoy each other. So there's that, you feel like you don't have privacy, right? Same thing with apartment buildings, where they're above you, all around you, you know, sharing an entrance, those types of things.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, you know, one of the most common things that I'm hearing in the U.S. these days, Canadians investing in the U.S. or U.S. investors, if you're listening to the show. One of the most common real estate investing strategies that I'm hearing from a lot of influencers is something called Section 8. And I hope I got that right. I'm live. Where essentially it's like a room rental situation. And so there's a lot of people out there. One of the most popular things in the U.S. right now is buying properties subject to. So getting a form of seller financing where the seller carries the financing for you. You put a lesser amount of down payment down. You lock in on their long-term interest rate. And you acquire properties that way. And so, but the problem with that is that the way that these things are financed, in a lot of cases, the mortgage payments are so incredibly high, and with the property taxes and other expenses, that these things don't cash flow with a regular long-term tenant. So what people are doing is that they are looking for these subject 8 type room rental situations, basically where they rent out the rooms. They try and cram as many rooms as possible. You know, do we have any gators? Do we have any gators with us today? Any? No? Do we have any beardos? No? Okay. Anyways, Gabby has no idea what I'm talking about. One or two people might get the reference, but these are the influencers that are teaching these types of things, trying to teach people to do these types of strategies. But, you know, it definitely does not, this, you know, talking about what we're talking about today, you know, it definitely doesn't check the privacy box, right? And it might, just like short-term rentals as well, someone's like, oh, I got a property, it doesn't cash flow. Short-term rental, Airbnb, it's a great solution. It's not exactly a solution. It's a big fucking Band-Aid on a pretty serious problem, which is that you have a property that is extremely high risk because there's not a whole lot of liquidity, cash flow. So therefore, what you're trying to do is you're trying to put a Band-Aid on a leaking toilet, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, how long is that Band-Aid going to hold before you've got, you know, a whole floor full of poo-poo and pee-pee water? Am I right? Am I right?
Oh, for sure.
So this is essentially like, you know, these room rental situations, these, you know, putting an Airbnb, like just like, oh, I'll just Airbnb it. I'll just invest a little bit of money into some IKEA furniture and then suddenly it'll fix it. It's not going to fix the situation, which is that nobody wants to rent this because there's no privacy, right? And so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with short-term rentals, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with affordable room rentals either, but don't buy a property and then try and solve your shitty decision with said solutions.
Yeah.
Right? Begin with the end in mind was what I said originally, right? Don't buy a property and be like, oh, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
Right?
I think another reason why we want those stable long-term renters and in those long-term investments is because it's as hands-off as you can get as a real estate investor. Is, you know, when you have a long-term stable tenant in there, there's very little that you need to do besides collect rent and fix things once in a while when they break, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you think about having a room rental or an Airbnb or, you know, anything along those lines, even just a rental property that isn't suited to long-term tenants, like an apartment, you're going to get more turnover and those types of things. They become a lot more hands-on. Or you need somebody managing it, and then you're managing managers and those types of things. So it's not as hands off as how we like to invest, which is, you know, just doing as little work as possible, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and having your money work for you in the background, right?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be passive investing, not active investing,
Yeah.
right? So that you can spend the time with the people that you love doing the things you love doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's the point of getting handlebars in the shower?
So earlier I mentioned with the townhouses that that one of the nice things about them is that they have their own backyard, which is kind of where I want to go. I'm just
Is that where you want to go? Is that where you want to go?
I'm going to completely ignore your handlebar comments. I think one of the really important things that make a property desirable to a tenant and to, like we said, a family, if that's who we're trying to attract, is having a yard space, because families have kids. They very often have pets. I think it's more common to have a pet than to not have a pet these days. So they want space where They can put up a little pool in the back. They can throw a trampoline up. They can let their dog out, and hopefully the yard is also fenced. I think we can group that into this yard category as having it actually fenced.
Yeah.
Somewhere where they can spend time outdoors. I think it's underrated because, and I think that places without yards, maybe you'll get somebody in, but once they realize how, once summer rolls around and they realize, oh, we don't have anywhere to go outside, they're going to realize that they don't want to stay there long term.
Yeah.
Right? So you might luck out finding tenants to move in, but you're going to have a hard time keeping them when they don't have that space to utilize.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of any memories except for like my daughter's first steps. I can't think of any big moments that were ever had in our house inside. Like, what are your think of your most memorable moments?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. That seems like a really weird statement, though.
I just think that like moments are had outside. Moments are had. Homens.
You coined that.
Moments. But there are no moments. There's no moments in homes. I honestly, I mean, like that's where you go to relax. But I can't think of any moments that were ever really meaningful inside. I think that people look forward to going outside. They look forward to doing something out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? To create extraordinary moments. Running through the sprinkler, dad chasing you with a squirt gun, trampoline, almost breaking your neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Camping in the yard, looking at the stars.
Yeah.
Aurora
Sleeping
Borealis.
on the trampoline.
All those other things. All outside, not inside. There's nothing fun inside. That's where you go to rest. That's where you go to lie down. That's where you go to, for some people, these days, in 2026, that's where people go to work. Right?
Yeah.
So a yard is...
People are itching to get outside.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny. So we had our coaching session with the REI Masters mentorship program Thursday, and Rita and Darby did their they logged in for their coaching on the deck, and they got this big old freaking treed backyard out there. I'm like, God damn it, I'm jealous of you guys, incredibly jealous. You know what I mean? They built a life, that in a space that they loved, and so that right there made me think like, yeah, that's where their memories are, throwing up the badminton net, and you know what I mean, playing horseshoes and running around and chasing your siblings or your cousins, right?
Yeah.
So I think a yard's really important. I think without a yard, I don't think it's whole.
Yeah, for sure. No,
so a lot of people, they really, really want a yard for all of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say also that, never mind. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
We'll move on from it because it was a rabbit hole.
Okay. But if you are inside, it is your comfort space. That is the space where I think that inside the walls, the four walls, or however many walls there are, you're looking for functionality. You're looking for certainty. You're looking for organization. You're looking for everything to be where it is, because when you go home to rest, you want to know that everything is where it's supposed to be and there's enough room for everything, right? So you're looking for size, you're looking for layout, you're looking for structure, right? And so functionality, I think, is one of the most important things when you're buying a rental property. It might not be on the top of their list when they come in, like if they brought a checklist, but as soon as they get in there, it's going to be one of the first things that they notice if it's not there. As soon as they walk in, if they see a layout, your tenants see a layout that is just doesn't make any sense or doesn't work for them and their family, they're instantly going to be turned off. So you have to think about that. You have to think about like, yeah, there's a really good price in this property, but it's some weird split level. And I love split levels, don't get me wrong, but it could be like a weird split level where there's like, I'll give you an example. The first home we ever bought had one massive bedroom upstairs on the top of the split level. And then on the third level down, it had two bedrooms, smaller bedrooms, and a bathroom. What family is going to live in that house? For us, it was fine, right? Made sense. We didn't have any kids. We thought we could make this a home. I love 4-level splits. grew up with them, you know, throughout my whole life, but never really thought about the fact that it only had one bedroom upstairs, and then a main level had a kitchen and a living room, and then downstairs at still ground level with windows at the ground level was where your kids are supposed to sleep. That doesn't work well.
Yeah.
And it, again, the rent might check the box, might have a yard, might have a garage, might have all the things that they're looking for. Numbers are fantastic, but a tenant's going to walk in there and be like, I'm not going to put my baby
Yeah. And that's
50 feet away from me.
And that's exactly what happened to us is as a couple, we were like, oh, this is great. And there's 2 more bedrooms. We can grow a family here. And you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh, now I have a kid. Like, I'm not going to put my baby down there.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing that's going to happen to a tenant. A tenant is going to go in and be like, oh, this works. And then, but there's nowhere for them to grow into it, right? Yeah. So the functionality is huge. Same thing, just even the number of bedrooms.
Yeah.
Like a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom unit is great for a certain person, but there's no room for them to grow, right? And so you need to think about, like numbers of bedrooms, size of things like the kitchen. Like, you know, a tiny kitchen might work for a period of time, but, you know, it's something that's going to be a pain point down the road, right? They're going to be like, oh, I'm sick of this. I need something bigger. I need more space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny kitchen is another big one. I think that, or just the layout of the kitchen too.
Yeah.
The cabinet space.
Yeah.
Countertop space. You know, those types of things. Does it have a pantry? Does it have a dishwasher? All those types of things. You know, again, it's not going to be what they're thinking about when they walk in there, but it's going to be the one thing that they remember when they walk out.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, another one, obviously, like, size of bedrooms. Yeah. Size of bedrooms is another big one. Even, you know, we don't have to talk about the families. We can just talk about, you know, even your 1-bedroom suites. Can I get my king size in there? Mm-hmm. Can you even get a queen? We were, Gabby and I were driving by driving by some of our properties over the weekend. And I saw a property that had an outside entrance to the basement suite. So it was, had stairs, like concrete steps. So you can go down from the front, as opposed to like, a lot of basement suite entrances. They are like a side or a back entrance, which is ground level. These you went downstairs. So they dug into the foundation. And I looked at it, and it had a rail. So you go down the stairs, tiny little stairs, and then it had like a railing around it to prevent people from falling into the stairs. And then also they had the gutter drain pipe coming down, and it went right over top of the area that the people were walking into as well. And I slowed down as I was driving by, and I did one of these. And I said, how the fuck are they going to get a bed in there?
Or a couch or anything.
A couch or anything. And here I am, like I've been worried about like our garden suite and the functionality of it and the ability to be able to get things in there. And I looked at that and I said, they got bigger problems than we do. They got much bigger problems than we do. And so it's something as well, not necessarily how are people going to get things in there, but more so sometimes these rooms, especially in basement suites or micro suites, are not big at all. You can only get a double in there. And again, someone goes in there, they see it's affordable, checks that box, it's in the area that I want, but I can't get my goddamn bed or a dresser in there. What am I supposed to do with my dresser, right? So closet space, all those types of things. Functionality is really important. So think, again, begin with the end in mind, reverse engineer. Who is this tenant? Who am I trying to sell to? And what are the things that they're going to need? How do I give them as many of those features that they need, that they desire as possible? So that way it's an easy decision for them to say, yes, I want to rent this space. Yeah.
And I think also when we're thinking about what does the tenant need, we can also think about things like, you know, the actual location of the property.
Yes.
So are they close to schools? Are they close to work? Are they close to amenities? Is transit easily accessible? We need to kind of keep the convenience of the location in mind when we're picking these types of things. It's hard. It's, sometimes you see this like really cool property or this really great property that's like, oh my God, this price is perfect. It's going to cash flow like crazy. But it's in this like odd location or really like away from things where a family would really find it convenient to live there. And it can be easily overlooked when you find a good deal. But I think the common theme here as we keep thinking back, it's like it might be easy to find tenants, but what we're talking about is about keeping them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Keeping them long term.
Okay, so let's use an example here of maybe a single person, a younger person. They don't necessarily want to be living in one of those new development areas, especially if they're younger and single. What do single people do on weekends?
Mingle.
They mingle. Do my Trump dance on video now. This is pretty cool. They like to mingle. So they probably go out and they spend time with friends. Whether their friends live in that neighborhood or they don't, they're probably going somewhere. And if they're not going to their friend's house to play what are the kids playing? Cards Against Humanity or all that board games. Kids are people love board games these days. These weird board games. Maybe they're going to someone's house for board games, right? And they're going to have a few drinks. Okay. They might take an Uber, or if there's transit available, they would appreciate some transit, right? So location, having access to transit. If you're in some deep south or north or west neighborhood that's 10 minutes away from the closest highway because you're so buried in that new development area, it doesn't really work for them. They're going to be paying $50 for an Uber, there and back. But if there's some transit available in the area, a train or something like that they can take, that might be really good for them. And maybe they're not going to play, Dungeons and Dragons at their friend's house. Maybe what they're planning on doing is they're going to go meet them at a bar downtown or something like that. Or maybe they want to go meet some people downtown at a bar. Maybe they're looking to really mingle. They're probably looking to get downtown and not have to drive home. So they're looking for transit. They're looking for accessibility to those areas. Even better, if they lived in that area. If I were single.
I like how you took this down a single path. Like I was thinking, the convenience of like families being near.
Sure, I just wanted to give a different example because we had been so stuck on families, right? If I were single, and don't worry, I don't think about this very often. Don't worry. Chill. If I were single, I would probably live in a condo.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Like if we didn't have a kid and we didn't have dogs, I would probably want to live in a condo downtown because even as a married man, I don't like responsibilities. I want everything done for me, and I also appreciate good food and good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Walk
food
into
and
the
good
coffee shop.
Right?
Yeah.
So I sometimes I look at some of those buildings, I'm like, oh God, I would hate to live in that building. But also like, I'm only going home just to sleep and to rest and maybe do a little bit of work. So as long as the functionality is there and checks all the boxes for me, I'm not going to be spending all my time there. I'm going to be going for walks. I'm going to be going and getting coffee. I'm going to work from a coffee shop. I'm going to go get good food all the time, right? That's the things that really matter to me, and that's where the memories are, right? The memories aren't at home. The memories are when you go out and you spend time with the people that you love. So, personally, I think that, proximity to amenities that are important to your tenant are important, if that makes sense. It wasn't the best way to describe it, but it's word for word exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Think about who it is that you want to rent to. Think about the things that they want and give them what they want. And then make sure it's profitable afterwards.
Yeah. I am going to say, though, from the family perspective, is that parents are going to want...
Completely different, by the way.
Completely different types of amenities.
Yeah.
Not that it's close to the local bar or that it's walking distance to a coffee shop. They're more concerned about, how far away is the school? Mm-hmm. Do I need to bus my kid in, or can they walk a couple blocks to get to the school? Is this safe for them to, to ride their bike to their friend's house or to the park or to the school and those types of things? And also, I think in this like affordability crisis that we're in, proximity to the transit is super important. Like, how far away is the bus stop if they're choosing to try to drive their vehicle less, or maybe they don't drive a vehicle, and those types of things. So location in terms of convenience to or proximity to those types of things, schools, parks, groceries, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just close out with arguably one of the most, I would say, in Edmonton these days, arguably one of the most debated and important features that I keep hearing about, because of all the new infill and the development that's going on in all of our mature areas, and even more so in some of the new development areas with limited access on streets and tighter streets. One of the big things that we're hearing that tenants absolutely want and that they're talking about is parking. Parking is at a premium these days. And I think that's going to become the new normal across Canada for the next decades to come. Everybody thinks that, we went way too fast with densification, and that we're almost like, no, we're going to turn things around. We're going to go back to the way that we were. No. And I've been talking about this for years. We are out of space, and we can only build out so much. And cities are looking inward, and they are looking at densifying as much as possible. The one thing that we're going to be giving up is parking. That's the one thing that's going to be at a premium, because of the fact that the more we add inwards, the less space we have to park. We had lots of space to park before. Now we don't, because we're trying to get as many units in as possible. Street parking was actually okay for a lot of people. Most people use their garage for storage. Now what they're looking at is they're like, now that that's not an option anymore, and that they don't have the street parking flexibility anymore, people are looking at it and they're like, okay, this is actually, I didn't ever realize how important this was. So with many of the new infill properties that are being built in a lot of the major cities across Canada, the big question is, and the big debate is, that why don't they have any parking restrictions or parking requirements, for the developers? And I know it's a big issue with us. I am a victim of it, and I'm also a culprit. I know exactly what it is that I'm doing by densifying, and our tenants are like, where am I supposed to park? Is there a parking area? Can I park in front of the garage? Nope. Street parking. Well, by the time I get home at 6:30 after traffic, there's nowhere to park, or I got to park down the street. I'm supposed to haul my groceries and my baby. Yes. And it's only going to get worse. So just understanding that is important, because if you understand that, then you know that there's a demand for it.
Yeah.
And if you can serve that demand, if you can serve your client what it is that they want, checking all those boxes, giving them all the features that they're looking for, then you will stand out in the crowd, a very, very, very noisy, saturated crowd of landlords. You're going to stand out, and tenants are going to come to you and choose your rental property over theirs.
Yeah. And you'll be able to, again, keep them longer.
And sorry?
And you'll be able to keep them longer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because they'll know that if I change, I might be able to get a little bit cheaper over here, but.
Yeah. Or if they've experienced a situation with a bad parking situation before, that's what they'll be looking for in their next place that they want to stay a long time, right?
Yeah. So to wrap up today's show, I hope this is giving you guys a lot more context. Let's just summarize it in like a quick little 30-second rentability test. And this is something that you should do before you buy a property. Once you've established who your tenant profile is, who is it that I'm going to be renting to? Let's just do this fast little 30-second rentability test. Ask yourself these questions. And then if it checks all the boxes, or it checks most of the boxes, and it's profitable, then that can help you choose that property.
Yeah. So one thing you can ask yourself is, would somebody actually want to live here over other properties? So like looking at your competition, if you walked into this property, would you say, oh my God, I can see us living here compared to those other options that are out there? So that should be your number one. Is like, could I see myself living here?
Could I see myself living
Right.
here?
Yeah. And also, you can ask, like, does it feel like a home? And I think this really goes back to that, like, functionality of the space. Like, could I bring my stuff in here and make it feel like a good place to live for me and my family?
Is there a good flow?
Yes. Yeah. And like, I'm trying to find the word. I guess, like, would I be proud to rent this?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
maybe not so much would I be proud, but am I going to regret this decision?
Sure. Yeah. You could look at it on the other spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would I be proud to live here? Would I regret this decision as a tenant? You know what I mean? Think about it. Like, am I just quickly trying to sell someone into this and just getting them in as quickly as possible? And by the way, that might work in some rental markets where there's a low vacancy, where everybody's begging, there's multiple applicants. I just need a place to live. You might get away with, your approach in those markets. But in a higher vacancy market where there's lots more options for tenants, think, like, am I just rushing somebody in here real fast, getting them to sign on the line that's dotted? And if so, are they going to regret this decision? Are they going to stay a long time? Right? And in a lot of cases, if you're just rushing people in, they're probably not going to stay a long time. So, think about this. Like, if I rent this to someone, are they going to regret this decision? Are they going to stay a long time? Right? Are they going to feel proud about the decision they made? Are they going to make a home out of this? Right? Would I make a home out of this place? And maybe it might not, it only applies if it checks the boxes for you. But for my tenant profile, will they be proud of this decision? Will they have a hard time changing their mind in the future? Or are they going to say, it checks all my boxes, this is perfect for me, and I want to stay here? Yes, absolutely, I would love to renew. And the only reason they would ever leave is if they had more kids, or their circumstances changed, or maybe all the birds have left the nest, right? So think about, how can I get them to stay as long as possible? How can I get them to love the decision they made, love the home that they've made into this house or this property? How do I get them to turn this house or this unit into a home and stay for a long time? And will they be proud of it? Do that quick little rentability test when you're looking at properties is going to help you make your decision so much easier. And then lastly, I will just add again, and I've been sprinkling this throughout this whole episode. It has to be profitable. Okay? It still has to be profitable. And I know we all want to rent the big house with the double garage, the big pie lot, and it's got the swing set and the trampoline and the horseshoes and everything else. I know. And I know that it's $947,000 and it only rents for $1,600 a month. The numbers don't work. The numbers have to work. It has to be profitable. It has to be in a market that shows strong potential and probability of growth. And then lastly, it has to have good cash flow. That cash flow offers you the liquidity and the cushion to be able to weather the storms. And there will be storms. There most definitely will be storms. And if you need to know how much cash flow do I need for my rental property, go to Amazon, purchase my book, The 5% Rule. Okay, the cash flow test for Canadian real estate investors. It's a very, very simple 69-page book that teaches you exactly what you need to know, how much cash flow you need for any property. So that way you know that you can weather through those storms, and that you won't turn into another one of those landlords that buys a property and is forced to sell it and loses $100,000 2 years later. I don't want to see that. Okay. Let's get you making good decisions. Let's get you buying great properties. Let's get you scaling your portfolio so you guys can have the freedom and certainty that you all look for to spend the time with the people that you love. Okay. That wraps up today's show, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.